We need to grease the wheels of commerce.
Coach Walton Patton, Louisiana University.
Your school must not think very much of my son if they sent you here.
Can we call him?
He won't answer. He said he tired of everybody calling.
Hi, I'm Elise Chaffins, and I'm joined today by actor Rob Morgan and writer and director Glen Owen to talk about their new film, Signing Tony Raymond, out in theaters now. Thank you both so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Can one of you just give us a brief synopsis of the film, just for anybody who's unaware?
Yeah, sure. I can jump in. It's a story about a college football recruiter. His job's on the line. He's sent to rural Alabama with some NIL dollars to try and track down the nation's top defensive end and sign him and bring him back to his school. And he's got to outflank rival recruiters. He's got to fight off grifting townsfolk who all want a piece of him. And then also, most importantly, try to win over the player's wildly dysfunctional family. And prove himself to them.
Yeah. So, Glenn, can you just talk a little bit about what inspired you to write this movie and kind of the process of getting it to the screen?
Yeah, I'll try to be concise. Yeah. So I played sports in college. I was a walk-on at the University of Georgia in basketball. Didn't get to play very much, but I did become friends with a lot of football players through that. And they would tell me these crazy recruiting stories. And back then, there was a lot of money flying around. It was just more under the table, but there were still high stakes, and there were dollars, and there were bag men dropping off money to players to sign with their school. So when I decided I wanted to write a script a few years later, I knew I wanted to set it in the world of sports. That was what I knew most then. And I knew I wanted to make it around a football recruit. So I just built this world of this coach, and he's trying to find his true path. Does he belong at this big time program, or is it more about the love of the game for him? And so he's sent on this journey to try and sign this kid, and has to endure all these zany misadventures. So there's some comedy to it, and I wanted to do a mix of some comedic moments, but also some heartfelt moments. Because to me, that's what real life is. It's a mix of both. So I combined that and tried to capture his story and explore what his true calling is. And same with the player Tony Raymond. They're each trying to find their own path.
Yeah, definitely. Rob, can you talk to us a little bit about what drew you to the role of Otis? Because he's just such a fascinating character.
That's what drew me to him. Bring a character like this to life. I thought the humanity, I thought it was flushed out very well. I thought his presence in the family structure was important. Playing opposite Mira Sorvino, who's an Oscar Award winner, was definitely another enticing fact. It was just a fun role to play, and I thought to be a part of a film like this that could highlight or bring awareness to the NIL conversation, where we are right now in the reality of the NIL world space. That was a tongue twister. I thought it was just a real treat to be a part of something like this right now. The timing of it is beautiful, I think.
Hey, Elise, can I brag on Rob in front of him just real quick?
Oh, of course.
I just want to say just the nuance, and I knew he would do it. I've been a fan of his for a long time, and I was so honored when he showed interest in participating in this. But he just brings such nuance to Otis, and Otis is, to me, the most complicated character in some ways in the whole movie, because his role is very subtle, and he just sits back and he's reading the situation. He's very smart and cagey and tuned in, and you got to prove yourself to Otis. He's just not going to accept you without that. And Rob really brought that out in a very slow, methodical way that drew me in, and I hope it draws audiences in. And I don't know, he just really crushed it. And that, again, to me, Otis is the linchpin of the movie. He's the ultimate gatekeeper, and Rob really nailed that.
Yeah, well, that actually is kind of one of the questions that I had, or something I wanted to talk about was Otis struck me as this kind of protector character. Yeah. And yeah, can you kind of like talk a little bit how you brought that into this role and into this character, but without it didn't feel like in this kind of like jealous, ugly way, but more of this caring kind of thing. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Me or Rob?
Rob.
Oh, sorry.
Or, I mean,
No.
feel free. You wrote it as well.
I want to hear this too. I want to hear his process.
One of the first conversations Glenn and I had, we spoke about music, and we brought up this blues player, Junior Kimbrough. And he has this song that was real, like just resonating with me, Alone in My Home. And I really used that song as like Otis's breath and Otis's heartbeat because, we're gonna have some blues about it, and blues music just really roots you in the real, like the gritty. And I felt Otis had that, but at the same time, he was able to show his love for his son by being that linchpin and gatekeeper. You know what I mean? So I would say that song, and Glenn turned me on to that song, and I would literally play it like right there on set every day.
He did. I would hear that. I'm like, oh man, it got you in the mood for that character. So that's his theme song. You're exactly right.
Yeah, man. So I had this song that really just dropped me into Otis because the way he sang it and his feeling and all that, I just put that into Otis.
Check it out, Elise. Play that song when we hang up.
Absolutely. So I think this is a really interesting film because, of course, it's about football and about, just all this signing and everything. But it's also just a really interesting look at families and family dynamics and just kind of the theme of integrity. Can you talk about working those themes through the film, and then Rob about building on those themes with the character of Otis?
Yeah, thank you for recognizing that. I never wrote this to be this in-depth expose about college football recruiting. I mean, football is the backdrop for sure, but really, to your point, it's more about these characters finding their true calling. It is about family and the family protecting and looking out for each other. No matter how dysfunctional that family is, they still stick together. If you look at them all, they stick together and they protect each other and look out for each other. And Coach, McFadden, Walt, he's got to prove himself to be worthy of their trust. And while all these crazy misadventures are happening, everybody in the town's trying to get a piece of him, and he's got all these obstacles coming at him. So yeah, you're exactly right. It's more than football, and the audience reaction has proven that. I mean, we have a ton of people that aren't into football or into sports that still connect to this journey, and I think that's the nice thing. If you're into football, great, you'll like it. But even if you're not, you can appreciate it because it's bigger than just the sport.
Yeah, it's real world people, community, family. I think, like Glenn said, football is the backdrop, but it's blips, like small portions. You might see a tackle here, a tackle there, and that's it. The rest of it, we're really invested in the humanity of these characters. While Walt is on his adventure to sign Tony Raymond, he has to go through this community and show how much he really wants to sign Tony Raymond, while his life got stuff going on too.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I mean, he's got dirt going on in his life he wasn't even aware of. So then, you have that theme too, where you could be so immersed in your work, you're forgetting about your home life. It's slipping. So it's so many things in this movie that I think people can relate to that will like go beyond just football. You know what I mean? It's not just a sports movie. It's a movie for everyone, definitely. I think everybody can take something from this, all ages, all genders, all ideas of wherever you are politically. Everything is wrapped up in this movie that can touch everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just as we're kind of wrapping up here, I always like to ask folks, what did you learn from making this movie that you would want to take into future projects and future things that you want to work on?
Good. Go, Rob, you go first. I got to think about that.
Rob's taking that song.
Right.
Well, man, being an executive producer comes, well, it's a lot that comes with it more than just, being an executive producer. You got to ask for money and things of that nature. So, yeah, it's other things that I've learned and I'm super excited about. And I can't wait for the next one, to expand my role in this craft of storytelling. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to be in front of the camera and all that, but like I said before, the beauty fades away. People get tired of looking at your smile after a while. They say, "What else can you do?" And so I think for me, learning the role as an executive producer was very helpful for me on this.
Yeah, and I think for me, similar answer to Rob. I mean, I learned so much about the business of filmmaking as a producer on this. So I think that'll help me um, be able to shape projects moving forward. I mean, you got to have people show up. You got to have people want to watch. It's got to be structured properly for it to be a viable business opportunity for people to invest in. So just learning about distribution, about film marketing, uh, about how things work in theaters, and how you go to streaming, and just all the different layers to it. It's been a master class in that. And creatively, it was just a blast to creative. I would just like to replicate my next one creatively if I could. I mean, to me, it all starts with the casting. And as a director, just selfishly, you want the best actors you can get because it makes your job easier. These guys bring so much to it, and just to sit back and create this world and then let them find their way in it was just so gratifying to me to be a part of. So I know the next one it's all about the cast, and having guys like this be involved. Just it makes it's all the difference in the world.
Excellent. Well, thank you both again for taking time to speak with me today. I really appreciate it. Best of luck to you both with this film.
Thank you. Great meeting you.
Thank you.